like to kind of introduce them to this this composition system that you showed me some time ago.
Sure.
And I'd like for them to kind of get a sense of, it's almost like a game in a way,
Right.
like a musical game.
Sure.
So I sent over to the studio a little graphic of a sheet, and I'd like them to pull that up so I could, if we can get that on screen, I'd like to have the audience take a look at that, because it's an interesting little setup, simple but very deep. A lot can happen with that. So can we pull up that graphic right quick? All right. So here we have. So here we have the composition system. Now, when I was looking it up, it's a form or a version of what they call a serial composition system, because it uses a basic structure that your creativity can be based upon. And at the top, if you look, you see there's the key of C. Now, of course, there's 12 keys. We can have any key we want. So there's the notes for the key of C. And then below that, what you have is the alphabet. And if you notice, the alphabet is situated so that there's repeating rows with 7 letters each. And the last one has 5.
Right.
And then at the bottom, when it says subject, that means any phrase or name or word or anything that you want to use. And then the notes would be the actual musical notes that you find when you use the system. And those are the notes that you'd actually play. So
that's correct.
I want to just start with a real simple word, like the word the, which happens to be in a lot of titles or something like that. So if you just take the word the, and this is just to familiarize the audience with how to use the grid.
Right.
The word the has basically 3 letters in it, T, H, and E. And if you look at the alphabet grid, you can see where T is, where H is, and where E is within the alphabet. And then if you look up at the key, you can actually see where those letters line up with one of the notes in the music scale. Right. For example, T lines up with A. H lines up with C. E lines up with G. So what we have is A, C, and G.
And it sounds
now,
like this.
Do it again. A, C, and G. All right. Now, we can play it as a chord. We can play it as a chord. We can play it as 3 single chords, like an A chord, a C chord, and a G chord.
Yeah.
Or we could play them as single notes in a melody.
Right.
So there's a lot of musical choices to be made. You know, now that's just a simple way of taking a look at it, and maybe just using those 3 letters.
Yeah,
you and I can come up.
One. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
You just had those 3 letters, and you've got a chord already. Okay. It's kind of like an A minor 7. You know, without the 5th. Okay, so I'm just wheeling that into the A minor pentatonic with contrary motion.
Wow. A lot of material there just from that simple little 3 letters.
Right.
So that's why I found this composition system so very interesting. So Tony, can you just tell me a little bit of background about how you ran into this and when you first learned about it?
Well, back in the 80s, I was fortunate enough to go to GIT and you know, for the first semester, Pat Martino was still there, and you know, he was just so incredible, and he's the one basically that was showing this system to anybody that would, you know, listen, and I just found him extremely fascinating and just a great artist, and you know, really learned a lot from him. But this in particular, I thought was really cool. This is so infinite. I mean, you can sit there and just keep writing with this thing, you know.
Yeah. So basically, this is something Pat Martino showed you. And in
More or
case
less,
the
yeah.
audience, and in case the audience doesn't know, Pat Martino is one of jazz great guitarists. So having an experience with him had to be a lot of fun and very a great learning experience.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was such an artist. He was so incredible, you know. And so, you know, and he was gracious enough to let us come to, you know, some of his closed rehearsals, and we got to watch him, you know, right up close. And just really great guy. I was really sad to see him leave, but
Yeah.
at the time, I guess he just preferred New York. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. So, yeah, so it's always stuck with me. Once you showed it to me, I've actually used it since that time in some of the educational programs that I work with. I had some kids actually do 3 kinds of writing. I would set up templates for them in the style of, let's say, a jazz blues. And all they would have to do is come up with a melody. Just
Nice.
come up with some kind of melody.
Great idea.
And then in some cases, I would have them use this particular system where I would have them come up with a title, an idea, or a thought. And then we would use that title, that idea, or that thought as the basis, the subject, in order to extract musical notes from the system. And a lot of good work came out of that as well. So, so have you used this system lately to create any music?
Yeah, like I say, I came up with it almost sounds like that observations thing we used to do, but I merged like the key of G, the key of C, and then the bridge is in E. And
Gotcha. So you kind of modulate it within it using
yes.
different keys. Very nice.
Yeah.
So are you able to demonstrate that piece of music for us?
I'll do my best. Are you ready?
Yep, all set.
All right, here we go. Key change. Showed me that one. Now we're in major, Rodney. So anyways.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it's a little etude been working on.
And again, etudes, for those that don't know, are pieces of music that were composed in order to master certain technical things, certain techniques. And so written right into the music are phrases that make you use the technique different ways. So those are etudes. Yeah, very good.
So instead of doing I'm doing.
Ah.
You know what I mean? Instead of the regular arpeggio.
Exactly. Beautiful, Tony. You seem very comfortable on your instrument, man. Now, a lot of people think it's just a matter of talent and, practice a little bit, but it's a lot more than that. Talk a little bit about your practice regimen, how you maintenance your chops and everything.
Yeah. Well, basically, what I like to do is, just to start with root 6, major 7, and then do this arpeggio like. And then do the G7. I guess I had to work on that one. And then G minor. And then inversions, and then G minor 7 flat 5. All right, so. And then
I see.
Full diminished.
Yeah.
Same thing with root 5. And so on. That's one of them. The other one is, just the Pat Martino thing that I was telling you about. He had these. He says it's a joke, kind of a joke, but he's like, oh, I only have 5 riffs, and he does play these a lot. Obviously, he has more than 5 riffs, but they're all laid out in G minor, like. And those are really nice G minor sort of
things. Man. Beautiful stuff. So, with regard to the composition method, I wanted to mess around a little bit with the letters again. We had an A, a C,
A, C, G,
an A, a C, and a G.
Right.
And if I look at just the key of C, I can see right off the bat that A is the relative minor. So if I play an A minor chord, just a regular A minor chord, right?
Right, yes.
And then we have a C, which is basically going to be a C major 7 or a C major. And then we have basically a G, which can be played as a dominant chord, or like a like almost like an 11th chord, or a suspended chord with a resolution. All those possibilities exist within those chord changes. So there's musical choices that would have to be made in order to turn that into music. What are some of the choices that have to be considered in order to turn these raw notes, just an A minor, a C major 7, and a G, to turn that into actual music, an actual musical phrase, a musical piece?
Well, there's a few things we do there. We could even make polychords onto these three notes. In other words, C slash or G. I'm sorry, G slash C. All right, and now we have a C major 9 chord, like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then we can do A slash G. All right, and check this out. This is a nice sound too. That's very Lydian. Right.
Wow.
So like.
Different sounds. That different sound. I got it. Now, what about things like tempo? Tempo and like meter. Like what about things like that? Like how do you determine whether it's going to be, for example, fast or slow, or whether it's going to be in duple meter or triple meter? How do you
Well, yeah, it all depends on how comfortable I might be with a particular riff, or I think about how it's going to sound with with the band or whatever, and those kind of considerations.
Gotcha. Because I generally try things a number of ways, and then kind of come to a conclusion of which way is more expressive for what it is I may be trying to do, or the context in which I'm writing. So I don't know that I actually make a choice as much as I let the music show me what works best.
Right. And sometimes you just stumble across things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not always intuitive or conscious.
And we both heard, our favorite artists do different tunes in a totally different groove, and maybe said, wow, I never thought of that. And it winds up being like really cool, something in the same song too,
Yeah. We call them happy mistakes. Some of those happy mistakes.
That's right.
Tony, there's a light cutting across your eyes that's not allowing us to see you very well.
I'm sorry. How's that?
Well, there you go. That's much better. That's much better.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So if I were to take, for example, those three letters again, and I love working with simple material, because what it does, it demonstrates how much can be gleaned from that simple little thing. So three notes.
I got another one for you. How about G slash A, Rod? We didn't do that one yet. Okay, so we got G slash C. All right. We got A slash G. And now we got G slash A.
G slash A.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And you can even reverse that with A over the G.
That's what I had. I had A slash G.
Yeah. So by moving them around, meaning just because the word is spelled a certain way, we're not stuck with just using it that way. The point is, the point is to get raw material to move it around.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we just did it with polychord, so to speak, just now.
Well, listen, Tony, we have to take a short station break, but when we come back, I'm going to fire up Logic and see if I can't make some sounds in here that might turn into something close to a song. So we're going to be right back, and we'll mess around with this a little more.
All right, man. I'll see what else I can write in the interim. See what I come up with.
106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. Today's R&B and throwbacks.
Greetings. This is Rodney Appleby, host of the Rodney Appleby Experience, to bring you quality programs, interesting guests, and entertaining performances. Your support is very important. Donations, large and small, are always welcome. Sponsors are an important part of our ability to provide you the kind of experience you deserve. Please go to 106liveradio.com/Rodney. There, you'll find a link to support the Rodney Appleby Experience. While tuned in on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe for alerts and updates. And you can download the 106 Live Radio app to receive notices of upcoming podcasts. And once again, thank you for your support.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Juneteenth, also known as Jubilee Day, commemorates June 19, 1865, the end of slavery in the United States. This emancipation date is the longest-running African-American holiday in American history and officially became a holiday on June 17, 2021. This Juneteenth, remember the price paid by those before us as we honor this emancipation legacy.
Mental health awareness. Mental Health Awareness Month has been observed in the U.S. since 1949, believe it or not. Many may not know that. But what we want to tell you today is, no matter what you're going through, this is the opportunity for all of us to come together and remember the value that each of us hold. No matter our diagnosis, socioeconomic status, background, or ability. We want every person out there to know that if all you did was wake up today, that's more than enough. Showing up just as you are for the people around you, most importantly yourself, is more than enough. Join us for More Than Enough campaign. Hashtag 106 Live Radio. Hashtag More Than Enough. Because we all support mental health. This is coming to you from Adriana Williams, a mental health advocate.
You're invited to our summer car wash fundraiser. Look at your ride as you cruise down the streets of Atlanta and you'll see a good old-fashioned car wash. When you go further, stop by 106 Live Radio in the Metro Film Center parking lot for a special car wash event on Saturday, June 17th, 11 to 4 p.m. Our Team 106 will provide exceptional services and a fun experience. This is the place where excitement meets diversity 24/7. 1959 Metropolitan Parkway, Atlanta 30315. All proceeds go to the upgrade of our station equipment. See you there.
Never seem to stop coming. Keep those flashing machines humming. Let me tell you, it's always you. And the phone sometimes
106liveradio.com. Atlanta.
Are you ready to elevate your connections and improve your networking skills? Here, you can take your career, brand, and organization to the next dimension. Networking with Valerie is your passport for personal and professional growth. Tune in every second and fourth Saturday from 11 to 12 p.m. for our networking events. This is the place to build and maintain relationships on 106 R&B and Throwbacks, powered by 106liveradio.com.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. I've been sitting here playing around with those simple little three notes, that A, that C,
Right.
and
You
that
heard
G.
what I was doing.
And
You heard what I was doing, yeah.
and what I was messing around with was I opened up Logic and I put up a drum track. Just put up a drum track with no thought to what it was. I just simply brought one up. And so having that up, I simply wanted to mess around and see what would happen if I put in if I use those three notes like a bass line.
That's what I was just doing, yeah. Only I wrote out the chords G/C, G/A, A/G, G/C, right? And all together it sounds like this. That's G/C, G/A, A/G, and then G/C.
Gotcha.
Those three notes.
Uh-huh. So now what I ended up with was a simple little groove that sounds a little bit like let me see if I can just a little groove. It's so you know what I find
Crazy.
absolutely amazing. You know what I actually find amazing? The fact that it's almost as if by applying the musical principles of, I'm just going to say rhythm, harmony, melody, just by applying that rhythm or applying those principles, it's almost as if you can take random sound and bring it to life. It's like it becomes something more than it started out. And so I'm always amazed at how those sounds actually.
There we go. Sorry.
I'm always amazed at how something that simple can actually come to life that way. And then to build from there becomes very easy to build from there. So what little piece do you have to add on top of that, Tony? And that's because there are no limits. There's no limits. There's no limit to what we can do. You're funny.
You know I was going to do that, though. And then,
so
another vehicle is contrary motion is really cool.
Say again. Oh, there you're back. We got you now. So now, what were you saying?
I was saying, like, I like contrary motion is a really cool vehicle too. Like,
oh yeah, when the notes and the sounds are moving across one another.
Yeah, and like I was alluding to earlier with the pentatonic stuff, like just simple pentatonic shapes.
Right. Now, a concept that I wanted to cover. Last week, I was talking with the gentleman about musical construction, meaning just going into Logic, pulling up some loops, and putting things together into an actual coherent little arrangement. Here, what we're talking about requires some certain knowledge of actual musical concepts, chords, rhythms, note values, various things like that. So tell me some of the things, some of the musical theoretical things that you use or that you find necessary when using this method.
Yeah, I came across another study. I meant to send it to you actually, and it goes over every key in music, and I found that really fascinating. And it just talked about how every single key has some sort of emotion, and one that came to mind was it talked about Pachelbel's canon, which is in D. So if you think about
Yep.
so that's a happy sounding. I think the key of E is real happy. It's got and of course with the guitar you can always use those open strings.
But in addition to all those other things we talked about, you're even taking into consideration the character and the color of the key itself.
Yeah, I know.
That's got you.
But
because again, if we pull up the graphic, where we have the key of C, we can actually change the key of C to any key we want. So for example, instead of it being the key of C, it could be the key of E, which means it would have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, C sharp, D sharp, and E.
Right.
And so there would be a number of sharps in that key. And then when we correlate the notes, they would be different notes because we're in a different key.
Well, yeah, the thing I played for you earlier actually does that. It goes from the key of C into the key of E, deliberately.
Gotcha. Okay, yes.
And the other thing is mode. So like the other thing, when it was in C, right? There's not even a C chord, but I was going off Lydian and then Phrygian. See what I mean? Yeah.
So again, lots of music theory knowledge really helps when when employing this particular system, unlike using the loops, which all you have to do is choose a sound that you happen to like.
Right.
So
yeah.
So there's not a lot of theory knowledge that's required to like or dislike something or hear that it fits or doesn't fit. But when you're making actual musical choices, what arrangements of notes to play, whether to play it as an octave, play it down below, whether to play it as a chord, play it as a major, play it as a minor, those things require a lot of music knowledge. And so that's why I call this system an actual composition system, because it does require music knowledge.
It does. And, just like a pizza, you don't want everything on it. You know what I mean? So you have to learn how to take some of these things out. And, just based on logic alone, how long did that take us? We already had a progression going. And, you're not
but again, how much of that is that it's that simple or that we simply understand music theory to a certain extent?
Well, that's an excellent point. That might have something. Yeah, how long have we been doing this, bro?
Just a little while, Tony. Not long at all. I was hoping that I would be able to have some video footage downloaded of some performances that we did back in the 90s at a music club in Buffalo, New York. And it's gonna take a little while to get the
Well, I'm gonna have the
CD.
music awards. I told you that that Bob Jan found he's gonna actually enhance it a little bit, so he definitely has it. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna keep bugging him.
Okay, yeah, because I think it's worth being able to play some of the footage of some of the performances that we've done, and given that they're videos, then it would be a wonderful way to show some of the things that we've done over the years.
I'm sorry, Rod, it went out.
Yeah, just saying that video footage would be a wonderful way to show kind of some of the things we've done over the years, and
we had a couple new songs in the set like that. All These Blues and that tune, which I thought was really cool.
Naming songs is not all that easy. And when I was sitting with Gordy, going through writing the composition and the reason we came to that conclusion, because we kind of knew, oh yeah, that's it. Once we got it where it needed to be, it was like, okay, that's it. And so we just kind of left it at that because we had no idea what to call it.
I know, it was a great tune, man.
Yeah, it required some technical dexterity for sure.
Oh yeah.
So Tony, one of the things that I really appreciated though, when you showed me that composition system, when you showed it to me, it actually opened up a couple of pathways for me. For example, I was able to use it in a couple of cases where I would take the name of a company and I would write a jingle for the company directly from their name, and would do it using that method. And it would always turn out very unique, original. Sometimes I would use the actual phrase itself in order to establish the rhythm. Like, for example, if the phrase was 106 Live Radio, I would use that rhythm. I would say it 4 times, like 106 Live Radio, 106 Live Radio, ba 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 da ba da da, ba 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 da da da. Now I have a little groove. Now I have me a little groove. And then I would begin putting the notes that I would find from that thing into that rhythm and that groove. Da da ba da da da, and it would turn into some very cool things.
That's great. That's awesome.
So thank you for that.
I'll tell you what, I learned a lot from you too, man. And one of them I would like to share is, like, I used to watch how you used to learn songs, and I always noticed that, like, you would listen to the song 20 times before you ever put your bass on. And so by the time you put your bass on, you basically, you had 80% of it done. And so
yeah, and then the rest of it was just where to put the finger.
It saves so much time to do it.
Well,
that way.
Learning for me has always been a matter of paying attention. Before I can actually attempt it, I have to just stop myself, calm everything down, and really pay attention to what's going on. And yes. And then once I've done that,
before we strike, you know how it is.
Oh yeah. That's why I had to calm myself down and really lock in, because I know how it is. But yeah, man, that was a very necessary thing for the way my mind operates. I go too fast, and so it's very important that I bring things down a little bit.
Yeah, man. It was always a pleasure to work with you, man. And you always gave it 110%. I'll tell you.
So I'm just sitting here again and I'm thinking about those three notes. Now I'm playing, and again, those three notes, A, C, G, that's it. Literally three notes. And so I'm listening to, for example, the bass groove. Okay, so bass groove. Then I hear those same three notes if I simply switch them differently, play them, for example, higher. So now I have that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Now if I play... And so now I have...
Try it again.
And
Go
again.
ahead. Go ahead. Do it again. Do it again.
So I hear what you're doing. I hear what you're doing, Tony. And if we didn't have the latency over the computer, because it's giving us a little bit of a delay, we could actually record with one another right now in such a way where it would be fabulous. It would be fabulous. And so those three notes, or and even keeping it real simple, like just playing basically 4 beats on A, then 4 beats on C, and then 8 beats on G. 8 beats on G. Now, again, we're talking about beats, measures, how long things are going to last. These are all necessary bits of information in order to truly compose. And it doesn't matter what system you're using of composition. You have to have a musical base, a musical background, a musical foundation in order to make true musical choices. And with the way Logic works and all the DAWs and the digital recording these days, very little knowledge is needed. Seems to all be plugged into the system itself.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about...
Well, you know, another important thing is just that events happen in like 4 measures. You know, that's another great way to memorize songs faster, is just, you know, instead of obviously 1 measure, just see like 4 measures, 8 measures, just see ahead. That helped a lot too. Just learn things better and quicker. And with writing
learning the parts of the song.
Right, and make it even. Usually, I mean, that's nothing new, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
In other words, you know, not a weird number of bars, something weird for no reason. You know?
And even so, and even if it is, when you're doing it section by section, all you do is say, okay, in section A has, let's say, 8 bars or 4 bars that repeat twice.
Right.
It's just 4 bars and it's going to repeat. And then you go to section B, and let's say section B does have those odd amount of measures. Well, you just simply say section B has 4 measures, and then it ends with this 1 odd measure, let's say, if that's the case. And then section C. So when I'm writing it out in sections, it doesn't even matter if the sections are even, uneven, if they're intuitive or not. It's just a matter of really putting together the mathematical structure of it and then just simply execute that. I love the numbers. Love the numbers. They seem to keep everything together and keep a lot of guesswork out of it. So So
Yeah,
how would
another system, Rodney, is just the 24 permutations of 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can reorganize those numbers 24 different ways.
yes. Yes.
Permutations.
Yeah, I did a episode on the permutations and talked a bit about how the permutations not only uncover all the possibilities, but how they actually show that there's more to a system than just back and forth or left and right. There's all kinds of nuances in between if you can actually see the pattern.
Some of them are real awkward too.
Yes.
You don't always really do them. But,
yeah, they're not so intuitive.
Right. So you can do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. So by that though, with it not being intuitive, that's what makes it a great practice method, because things that your fingers or your hands might not be necessarily comfortable with, then you can actually train them. Like, for example, using fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, using them in order or backwards, it's quite easy. But when you have to move them out of order, like 2, 4, 1, 3, or 3, 1, 4, 2, those are awkward little ones. And so, by having a way to practice them, it really does create some equilibrium in the hand where the hand is able to do some pretty incredible things.
What about 3, 4, 2, 1?
3, 4, 2, 1. 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1. Yes, that's another crazy one.
That's weird. Yeah.
Now, what we're talking about again is actually having a certain kind of musical knowledge in order to put some of these tools to use. So the digital domain doesn't require, in a lot of cases, that you have that kind of music knowledge. Lots of times it'll just simply say, use this part or just plug this in. And when that's all you have to do, you don't really have to know why it's that way. You don't really have to know. I think we missed a break, but let's take just a few minutes, and we're going to come back and wrap it up, Tony. I'm so glad you were here tonight.
All right, brother. I'll see you in a minute.
So we're just going to take a little pause, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to play a little more over here on Logic and see what I come up with.
Sounds good, man. All right.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Don E. Miller, licensed professional counselor. He has the formula for wholeness: encourage, empower, educate, enrich. It's called the E effect, and it will change your life. The E effect will empower the individual who may be mentally impaired to get involved in programs to help them live a productive life. These programs, which also enrich those in need by providing education and information, which promotes a high quality of life. For more information, call Don E. Miller at 678-741-5337 or visit the website at www.theeffect.net.
Looking to get away, relax your mind, or take a short trip to your favorite destination? Then book your next trip with Love Travels. With Love Travels, your next trip or vacation will be an enjoyable one. No trip is too large or too small. Love Travel specializes in wine tours, land vacations, and cruises. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, not many people could book a vacation, but at Love Travels, you can now book your next vacation or trip with us. Contact Tilda Love for a consultation and booking information at 404-981-7457 or email at lovetravels590@gmail.com. At Love Travels, we love vacations.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to tell everyone else
Ladies and gentlemen,
about 106liveradio.com.
All right. So yeah, so much fun, Tony, hanging out with you tonight, man. And remembering back to
come
the
down and we got to do a gig soon.
that'll be fun. Maybe I'll bring my camera with me and we can do a little live broadcasting as well.
Yeah,
But
it's been too long, man.
yeah, but messing around over here on Logic again, and putting together.
Man,
Let me see here.
let's hear it.
And one thing I want to say, Scott, check this out. Now,
Are you going to
things
stop?
are just-
Are you going to stop? You're playing all my riffs, man.
you got to share them now, man. Once I learned them, I couldn't stop. But I get it. But now let me remind you now, what we're playing is literally off of the word the. T-H-E.
Mm-hmm.
T-H-E.
Yeah.
That's literally all the material we're using. That's what I found so beautiful about this composition system, because the least amount of the least amount of material, and all of a sudden you can build it into something really substantial, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. Excellent method, Tony. And thank you for sharing that with me back in the day.
Yes, sir.
So is there anything you want to close out with, Tone? A little something you got?
Let's see. I don't know, Rod. I turned 64 a couple weeks ago, so I'll do that.
Thank you so much, Tony Scozzaro, ladies and gentlemen. So glad you guys tuned in tonight. And once again, the Rodney Appleby Experience, here where we see life through the mysteries and the magic of music. Thanks, Tony.
All
Love
right,
you, my
brother.
friend.
Talk to you soon, man. Thank
Hope
you.
to see you soon, and let's keep making music.
Let's do it. All right. Have a good day.
You guys have a great rest of the week, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care of yourselves and love each other.
Peace.
You're encouraged. Go to 106liveradio.com and hit the link to support the Rodney Appleby Experience. Donations, large and small, are always welcome. Sponsors are also an important part of our ability to continue to provide quality programming, interesting guests, and entertaining performances. You can always reach me here at the station, or you can reach me directly at rodneyappleby57@gmail.com or at 706-362-5328. I look forward to hearing from you. Please tune in through the week for other interesting programs with our 106 family. We appreciate your support. As always, it has been our pleasure to bring you tonight's program. The magic of music goes far beyond its entertainment. It is nourishment. Greetings. This is Rodney Appleby, host of the Rodney Appleby Experience. To bring you quality programming, interesting guests, and entertaining performances, your support is very important. Donations, large and small, are always welcome. Sponsors are an important part of our ability to provide you the kind of experience you deserve. Please go to 106liveradio.com/Rodney. There, you'll find a link to support the Rodney Appleby Experience. While tuned in on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe for alerts and updates. And you can download the 106 Live Radio app to receive notices of upcoming podcasts. And once again, thank you for your support.